Welcome to appbuildertv.com, how to freelance for mobile developers. Lesson 3, what do I charge? So there's a number of different strategies for charging clients as a mobile freelance developer. And these include fixed price, hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly rates, a percentage cut in the business or profits from the application, bidding, and retainers. First off, you want to look at who is your client. If you want to work on really high-end projects that earn large dollar amounts, then you'll most likely be looking at working with larger corporate clients. I have worked on several projects funded by individuals, and while they can be a lot of fun, they will usually be limited in size and scope because individuals don't have the budgets that corporations do. Be respectful that everyone has a budget. There may be projects that are too big or too small for you to take on. Fixed price. The idea behind fixed price project pricing is that you are given enough details on the project to make educated guesses about how long it will take you to complete the entire project. The major problem with this is that often you will underestimate and you may end up working quite a few extra hours for free. If you do go this route, make sure to pad your time estimates by as much as 30 to 50% depending on how many unknown factors are involved to protect yourself from losing your shirt. With time, your estimates will get better, but there will always be a risk of undercharging. Some ideas on project costs. Any significant mobile project is going to take probably at least 100 hours to create something of true value. I have worked on projects that have taken hundreds of hours to complete. If you really think you can knock something off great in a weekend, you're sadly mistaken. I tend to find that value-added native apps that take 2 to 3 months to complete start at around $20,000 and go up from there, based on North American pricing. Some high-end apps can easily push $100,000 or more. If you are only working on small projects or working on parts of projects, then these numbers may be much lower. The main point here is that real apps cost real money. Hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. Charging by the hour works out best for the freelancer because you get to bill for every hour you actually work. However, charging by the hour tends to be a little scary for clients when they have no idea how many hours the project will take. I tend to find that clients react better to a range estimate on the project than to just hearing my hourly rate. So I tell them that the project will most likely fall between something and something else. But don't flash my hourly rate around unless they ask. You may also have a rate that you charge per day, per week, per month, which gives you and your client options. What's a reasonable hourly rate? This depends on a number of factors. How experienced are you? The more experience you have, the more you can charge. What are you working on? The more specialized and difficult the work, the more you can charge. Your skill level. If you are just starting out, your rate will be much lower than when you become a Jedi. Where are you located? Depending on what part of the world you are from, different rates will apply. In North America, I think a reasonable starting rate for a competent mobile developer with some experience should be at least $50 an hour, and go up from there with skill and experience. Don't think like an employee. Remember, you are not an employee, you are a freelancer now, and the wages that apply in the working world won't work for you. You'll pretty much always need to be charging more than your hourly rate that you were making at your job. Remember, as a freelancer, you pay all the expenses. And you most likely won't be working 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. You need to build up a reserve for slow times. Competing on price. If your plan is to be the cheapest developer out there, you're going to regret it. The problem with competing on price is that there will always be someone cheaper than you, and that you need to be able to make a profit from your freelancing endeavors to make it sustainable. If the only reason a company is choosing you over another developer is price, how much loyalty do you think the client will have with you in the future? If your client tells you that they have a cousin who will work for $15 an hour who can build their app, then wish them good luck and be willing to walk away. The percentage scam. I am approached all the time by people offering me half of the profits of their goldmine idea, wanting me to do programming, while they take care of the business side of things. Essentially, this is code for, I want you to take all the risk, and if it works out, maybe you won't lose your shirt. Let me ask you this. If you had an idea for $1 million app that was certain to succeed, why would you be willing to give away part or half of your company? Are you willing to risk working several weeks or months for free with no guarantee of getting paid anything? Don't get taken for a ride. Retainers. When you start out any new project, you should typically ask for at least 20 to 50% of the cost of the project to be paid upfront and non-refundable. You apply this retainer to the cost of the project, so it's not an extra fee. Clients that protest a retainer are going to be a problem, so better you find out earlier than later. Retainers are a safety mechanism for you, the freelancer, to ensure the client has money, that they're serious about the project, and it gives you positive cash flow at the start of a given project. You can also use retainers at the end of a project for maintenance and support, which all apps need. In this context, retainers work on a declining balance, much like a lawyer. Bidding. I'm not a big fan of this approach. The main reason is that bidding usually means fixed price contracts, and they typically go to the lower or lowest bidders. Make sure it's really worth your while. Bids on freelance job sites can be a waste of time if you actually want to get paid what you're worth. Bids on things like government contracts may be okay, but require a lot of time and effort to put together, so make sure it's worth it. Lowballing bids is not a good idea, so if you're going to do it, bid a fair price and see what happens. Tips for increasing your rate. Go deep. The vast majority of mobile developers will most likely reach a point of competence and level out. Only a small percentage will dig really deep and really develop true expertise in any given area. The deeper your knowledge and experience, the higher rate you can command. Specialize. Being a jack of all trades, master of none may work for some, but I've never found it to be a good long-term strategy. Find an area that you can dominate and really focus on. Find your niche and you will find your profit. Think neurosurgeon, not general practitioner. Reputation. The more well-known and recognized you become, the more in demand you will become. The better your rep is, the higher the rate can go. I've got a client now and know my rate. Now what? In upcoming episodes, we'll be discussing creating contracts and service agreements. We'll talk a little bit more about retainers, strategies for dealing with challenging clients. If you're interested in learning more about how to develop mobile apps, please visit appbuildertv.com and get instant access to over 30 free videos today. Or follow me on Twitter at appbuildertv.